Good morning and welcome again to Travels with Monkey Boy. Today is day 2 of our travels to the Caucasus region. So the day has finally arrived. Okay, no long-winded oratory here, as most of you complain. My buddy Caleb Anderson and I took the 10-hour bus ride to Armenia. It was about 1.5 hours to get to the border, and as we went through passport control in Armenia at about 10:30 a.m., I broke out a bottle of cha-cha, Georgian brandy, to toast the 100th country that I visited. No oratory because we got on the bus and finished the liter bottle, then bought a bottle of vodka for $5 in Armenia and finished that. And then one of our busmates bought us another bottle of vodka, which we also finished. I say not much of a story because drunken party bus stories are stories best untold. I will tell you, we met Alex, my son's future wife. She was on our bus, a pretty young lawyer, and as we were standing in line for passport control, I asked her what brought her to Georgia. She said she had plans to go to Japan with a friend, but at the last minute they canceled on her. That night she had a dream, and in the dream a voice kept telling her, "You must go to the country of Georgia. You must go to the country of Georgia." So the next day she bought a ticket and went by herself to Tbilisi. As I was listening to her goofy story, the kind which I love, about the universe speaking to you, I asked her where she was from, and she said Washington, D.C. Then all the pieces fell into place, and I said, "Oh my God, the universe told you to come to Georgia and to get on this bus to Armenia to meet me because I have a son who also lives in D.C. and he needs to get married so we can have grandbabies. So when should we plan the wedding?" As we got on the bus, I asked her again, 10:30 a.m., if she would like to have a gulp of our cha-cha, and she guzzled it down and continued to drink with us for the rest of the day. We also partied with a Scottish teacher, a Polish adventurer, and a Canadian retiree. At the end of the day, I exchanged numbers with my new daughter-in-law and gave her Alex's phone number, and she immediately contacted him. Of course, Alex went full millennial on me and said he was too busy for a relationship. Still, it was a nice way to celebrate my 100th country in a warm, foggy-minded tour of the countryside of some obscure country with obscure monasteries, drinking with a close friend, random strangers, and my future daughter-in-law, at least in my mind. Okay, that's the story for today. Let me show you the map. Okay, we talked about Armenia yesterday, surrounded by the neighbors, Azerbaijan, which is at war with Armenia. Armenia is right here. Here's Georgia up here. And Turkey to the west. There's Batum. I talked about that yesterday. Batum is the city that Turkey says that's really ours. And in the north is South Ossetia, which the Russians have eaten. The Russians are up here. So yeah, a rough neighborhood. We were in Tbilisi, and our bus tour took us across the border into these pretty countryside where we saw some monasteries and things that were kind of boring, but we had a lot to drink, so it was fun. Okay, I got some pictures to share as well. Here's Caleb and I drink cha-cha in Armenia, country number 100, toasting to a life well spent. If you see in the background of the window, you can see the reflection of Elon Musk giving a Nazi salute. You're supposed to stand on the metal in the middle and then step on the scorpion, then on the snake, and then back on the scorpion. I can't remember why, but it was before noon and I'm already one bottle of cha-cha down. This is Isaac the Persian on the left and the dude that created the 33-letter Georgian alphabet on the right. We don't know what the punishment to him was, but this was Tamar the Great, Queen of Georgia, and kind of hot. It was by this point I was getting a bit fuzzy-eyed, as you can see from the picture. This was the Virgin Mary as painted by an Armenian artist. She's kind of hot. Another picture of the Virgin Mary. Man, if the pictures of Mary were like this when I was a kid, I would have paid more attention at church, or, less. This is some Georgian bishop flipping off the infidels. This guy was something, something, defender of the Armenians. He got killed. Armenians got massacred. Worthless, but he got this painting. A priest tying the shoes of some orphan child before he drags him into the darkness behind him. This had something to do with Hinduism and Christianity, but too drunk to appreciate. Ruins that I would normally have listened to and given you a long, boring story about. More vodka. Some random dead guy that I decided I needed a picture of his grave. These holes were the place, was the plan that the Armenians had for when invading armies came. The idea was to hide the monastery's treasures in these holes. When the conquering army marched through, they wouldn't have the energy to reach into the holes to take out the treasure. There were no treasures displayed here for obvious reasons. Here's Caleb in a hole. You had to walk across the grave of 6 kings to get to this altar. In my case, it was less walk, more like stagger. This altar was burned down twice, showing off the never give up attitude of the Armenians. They had Oriental rugs in Armenian church, which confused me. Zoroastrian cross. See the flames blasting off on the bottom? Predicted rocket ships by 2,000 years. First time I met Frankie's boyfriend, we talked about the Zoroastrians. They don't bury their dead. They don't burn their dead. They don't throw their dead in the ocean because they believe in the sanctity of the 4 elements: earth, wind, fire, and water. So what they do is they build a great big pyre funeral area, and they put the body on, and they have the vultures come and eat the bodies. Here's the Tammuz cross, Babylonian, well before Jesus. Mind blown. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed my 100th country, and we'll finish up tomorrow.